Alrighty, wanted to do another quick walk around of the rack and kind of the updates for the HP ProLiant and just some of the back-end infrastructure that we've changed, moving that in here. So the first bit that I want to talk about is this is a Startech 22U rack. I'm using a decent amount of it now, and still have a good bit of space up near the top. And if we zoom in back there, you can see that I've got 3 120mm fans just running in the back to help push some hot air out the back. And then down here we've got the patch panel, not fully saturated yet. Thinking about getting a small just a 1 gig switch that I can put above this so that I can have some more low speed interconnects for like lights out management and that type of stuff. On the left hand side here you can see we've got the fiber panels there. I have room to put in one more if I want to, and then we've got all of the Ethernet connections there. And then you can see down here that we've pretty much filled up the Netgear switch. I got one dark port right now, but probably filling that one out in the very near future. So pretty much tapped out on the Netgear. And then if we come down one, we've got the MikroTik. And this is the MikroTik CRS504-4XQ-IN. And this guy is the 100 gig switch that controls the data pathway in between the file server and the render server. And so with expansion possibilities that include going with one more to a workstation if I wanted to. This guy has dual redundant power supplies, and you can see I've changed out the power cords for these red ones here. These go down to the Triplite PDU, and that one's in the back of the rack, so I'm probably not going to show that one off today, but suffice to say that one is taking the 240 volt lines and bringing those in, and so all of the equipment that you see here in the rack is running off of 240 volts. So that gets everything moving and grooving. And then, just in case anybody wants to see, this guy here is the MS510TXM, and that was, or is, the 10 gig and 2.5 gig switch that I'm using for most of the back-end infrastructure. And then if we come down here, we've got the Supermicro file server. This is the 256 terabyte file server with 16 terabyte drives, 512 gigs of RAM, 196 cores of EPYC processing power, and yeah, really powerful server. Way more than you really need for a file server, but a lot of fun to put together and work with. And then if we come down here, this guy is the latest edition. This is the HP ProLiant DL580 G9. And this guy is also 196 threads, but much older infrastructure. So this is 4 8894V4 CPUs with the ability to put in a metric ton of RAM. I am barely populating it at all with 512 gigs of RAM. This can easily scale with the DIMMs that I've got now up to about 4 terabytes. And on the top here, you can see I've got 5 drives, and they kind of have that Xbox light ring that goes with them. And these are original HP 1.2 terabyte drives. They're not particularly fast, and they're in a RAID 5 right now. I'm probably either going to sunlight these or reconfigure this server a little bit. It's not without some downsides to it. Being an eBay server, this did have a couple of issues. One is one of the memory banks is bad, and the other one is that the caching drive is having issues. So I've got another replacement caching drive coming in to see if that will correct the issue. And then the memory bank, I'm just going to have to work with the seller to comp that item out. But yeah, overall, oh yes, this also has a AMD Radeon RX 79, I think it's 7900, yeah, 7900 XTX in there that does not really fit. I had to make some serious adjustments to it to get it to fit into this chassis. So the manufacturing specifications are not exactly to par. It's off by probably 3 or 4 millimeters of what the specifications say. And then if we come down here, we can see the Furman power conditioner still churning away for my 120 line stuff. And then I guess if we really look back there, you can kind of see the Triplite back there. The Triplite is pulling all of the high-powered usage, and I have rewired this whole area with 240-volt lines, 30 amps apiece, so I've got a total of 60 amp available to run the servers. The HP ProLiant is by far the hungriest of the servers. I have easily seen about 1700 watts out of the HP ProLiant, whereas the Supermicro can peak in the 800 range. So yeah, definitely quite a bit of juice being used there if I was to stress both of them simultaneously. But yeah, this has been a quick overview of the rack and kind of where I'm at, and I believe this is going to be kind of where we're going to stay for a while. I don't see any other major upgrades coming down the pipe. The HP ProLiant serves as the render server, and the Supermicro serves as the dedicated file server. And so in between those two, I don't really see a need for much else on the compute side. There'll be some slight tweaks, like I said, to hard drives and networking, that type of stuff, but for the main compute side of things, it is pretty much settled where I want it to be.